Yeah, I guess we're live. So yeah, hello everyone. For everyone who's watching right now, for everyone who would join us later in the call, uh, I really wanted to do this to discuss about certifications because like certifications are a topic which has not been very widely discussed in the community, and it's such an important topic. Like if you look up like the top certifications in the tech industry, AWS is one of the top, if not the top. So I really wanted to discuss this with my peers and Suman sir, obviously, so that we could get best tips practices. Now we didn't want to do this, a death by PPT because I've seen that engagement does not really carry towards the end of the program. So this would be a really short call. I mean, short in the sense we would kind of wrap up in 40, 50 minutes. Even less won't be harmful, I guess. The agenda for this meetup is very simply to discuss about certifications, what they are, what are the tiers of the certification, and how exactly they matter. And then preparation, since I have my certification exam scheduled later this month, so I thought I would also get some thoughts from the already certified people. uh, so yeah, this would be a very impromptu discussion. Feel free to ask any questions if you have in the live chat, and even if you don't have, we will share our email IDs in the description. We have our Twitter accounts, so you can anytime DM us anywhere. So to begin with, I would like someone to introduce certifications and the tiers of the certification in a way.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, Parth, and thanks everyone for joining in. So, basically, if you are new to AWS, we do have a certification track, and you can start with various levels. And previously, we used to have, a qualification. Like once you clear the associate level certification, then you can go to professional and then specialization. But now we don't have anything as such. So you can pick any certification of your choice, and you can get started with it. So in terms of certification, we do have lots of certification, and every year almost we come with one or two new certification or renewal of the existing certification. So you will see that the first and basic certification is a cloud practitioner certification, and that is mostly for people who are completely new to cloud, and not only cloud, who might be very much new to IT and infrastructure. Okay, so if you know a little bit about infrastructure or storage, network, compute, then you can skip that. Okay, because that is mostly it's not very technical exam. Mostly it's a use case kind of exam, so a lot of people skip that, but it's good to have. If you have some time, you can just go over that. But the basic first, to me, the first certificate that people generally take is the associate level certification. So that can be solution architect associate or developer associate, and we have one more associate exam. So you can take those associate exams, and then you can build on top of it by professional level exams, and then specialization. So we have a lot of specialist certification, like for machine learning, for database, for data analytics, and so on. So yeah, so so what I would recommend is, when if you are getting started with AWS, you can pick one, and my recommendation would be solution architect, because that covers the breadth of all the services. So it may not go to the depth of all the services, but you will have an idea about how cloud works and how AWS works, and what are the bits and pieces of core services. Okay, and then once you are there, then you can go with the other certification based on your interest. And again, there are a lot of people who have lots of all certifications. I mean, that's great, right? So but I would recommend that you should just focus on the area which you are passionate about, right? So certification is good to some extent, but at the end of the day, what matters is how much knowledge that you perceive, right? And how much you implement in your day-to-day work, right? Whether you are in college developing your projects, or in future when you go and join some company or start your own company. So just but first, when you're getting started, you can just get started with the solution architect, and then you can build on top of it with other associate or professional level certificates.
Yeah. So actually, like I had this question and this kind of lingers in my head. So I guess it lingers in other fellow people's heads too. There are two levels of a particular certificate. Like there is an associate level and then there is a professional level. So what difference does it makes to for one for the test taker to what depth do we prepare for an associate level and for a professional level? This is one. And the second part is how different is it how differently is it perceived in the industry. So how differently would person A be perceived if he has an associate level certification and a person B who has a professional level certificate in the same domain?
Okay, yeah, sure. So let me just add my inputs, then I'll let Prithvi, Lakshman, and Vishal add their comments. So that's a very good question. So from preparation standpoint, professional level exam, for all the professional level exams, the depth of the technical skill requirement is high. I mean, that's why it is professional. But in terms of the examination, those exams, like professional exams, are mostly around scenarios. Okay, so you will have at least 100 words in the question, right? It's a very big questions, and you will be given four options or five options, multiple choice, and the answers might be one or many or even all of them. And the tricky part of professional exams are, uh, it could be that all those options are correct, okay, but you need to pick up the most appropriate answer. So that's the difficulty level, or you can say the standard of any professional exams. So that is mostly around scenarios, because the associate level exam is mostly not on scenarios, although there are few scenarios question that you will get. But you can figure it out if you know the services, and if you know how things work at a very high level or at an intermediate level. You can even figure out with some keywords, right? So let's say in a question, if you see a NoSQL, so mostly the answer would be DynamoDB, right? Or DocumentDB, something like that. So you can predict even you can, if let's say while preparing you have skipped the database section, but still you know that in NoSQL we have DynamoDB, in RDS, in the relational database or stuff like that. So you can just read the keywords and pick the answers, right? So that's the level that associate level exams are. So those are very much focused around the services and some very basic use cases. But professional exam is mostly on scenarios, and those scenarios are curated based on the actual work which our customers have faced. Because one thing, I will share that a little later in the discussion. But one thing that we should understand, that these questions are not set by AWS people, right? These questions are set by everyone, right? And those everyone are called SMEs, who are subject matter expert, and you could become an SME as well. So you can just apply for that, and you can write questions. So then when these people set the questions, they just replicate their experience in their professional work to build some scenarios. All right, so these are not fabricated questions. So that's how these exams are crafted. And the last part of your question is how this is going to help you in or anyone in professionally. So from job perspective, our market, what we have seen is there is a tremendous demand on AWS certification, right? So it's not only about AWS, but many other certifications, to be very honest. But AWS certification is very much in demand, because the pace that AWS is growing, especially in the enterprise, because it was always growing in the startup sector, but now it is growing tremendously in in enterprise, banking, etc. So they need people to have some skill sets, right? Because anyway you will go through training, no matter which level of you are joining in. But if someone is coming from with a professional certification especially, then they the organization feel that, okay, this guy already know a certain thing, so that we can start building on top of it. You can pick up. So best way to check is you can go to LinkedIn or any leading job site, and just search for these keywords, right? AWS certified professionals, you will find those jobs. And I would recommend that you can see the profile that you would like to apply in future. Check for similar profile in LinkedIn or any other website, and see that what they have done. And you would see that most of the people would have completed their associate or professional or one of the specialist certification. See, there are two things that I always tell everyone. One is, if you're getting started with AWS or cloud computing, you can learn of your own, and I'm very sure that most of us, have learned of their own. Now, to get a first interview call from the company, you need to, at that time, that company is not able to see you; they just see your resume, right? So, just to get the first call, you need to have some testimony so that they get a feel that you have the credibility. So certification is one of that, okay, this guy knows something, let's have a call. Without that, you cannot replicate that, okay, I have learned for last 2 3 months, I have been learning AWS. But if you don't have any credential, you cannot just project it. So it's a tremendous growing market, and not only for job, but as well as in to be in the infrastructure or IT in general, that would boost your confidence at every level wherever you are.
All right, yeah. Like that was really insightful, talking about the industry from a perspective of someone who has been in the industry for quite some time now. Prithviraj, like he's a friend. He's about to start his user group in. Is it Indore, Prithvi? I
Yes,
forget.
yes, in Indore.
Oh yeah, it's Indore. Okay, I call it Bhopal sometimes. It's really confusing.
Yes,
But yeah, so he's about to start his new user group. We'll talk about the upcoming user groups towards the end of this discussion. So I guess like he completed his certifications a couple of years ago, and most of his certifications, like the studying part, happened by on his own. Like he studied on his own. So how was that experience? How did you prepare for the exam? And like for someone who is about to appear in an exam, how would you give an advice to them?
yeah. Actually, Parth, what I have done 2 or 2.5 years ago is that in our college had become a AWS Academy partner, and we had our first pilot batch. And in that pilot batch, I have pursued my certification. So I was just a second year student at that time, and a lot of questions I have that might be in every student have that first question that I have is it the right time to pursue the certification in the second year? So I would like to cover I have a thought so one of my faculty gave me a thought that Prithvi, this is the right time to do. There is no right time to do the great things. Like whenever you start doing the thing, you can pursue the things in any time. There is no right time to do a great thing. So so the thing is, if you have a question that I will if you are thinking this, I will prepare for the certification in the final year, or on job I will do the certification. So you are really missing some great things in early.
Mhm.
So what I suggest, if you are planning to do the certification as early as possible, you should do, because as and when you do the certification, you are uh, you are as and when you do the certification, you will get exposure of the things like cloud, and that at that time what I got is when I done the certification, and then I do the many uh, when I done the certification,
Projects, yeah, mini project
I
or something.
I have done the many I have done many workshops, and
Mhm.
after
Oh,
that I got to know the many technologies like containers, and also so that was literally a huge exposure for me at that time. So if you are planning to do, you can start as early as possible. And one more thing, many of the students have a questions like about expiry, that many of my friends things like that certification will expire in 2 years, so let's do it in the final year or in before the job. So
mhm.
the certification is something like that will expire in 2 years or 3 years, but the knowledge that you get is for your
Ah,
lifelong. So
yes.
that's a huge important thing, that you should do this thing. And it's not only about a certification. Like once you do the solutions architect associate, you will be start thinking like in some time that let's prepare for the professional exam. So
Okay.
don't be think like certification will expire in 2 year or 3 year. Think like you will get an experience of these years. which will be more important to have a great job, to get a great job. That's what in
Yeah,
my case.
that's true. That's true. And how exactly did you prepare for the certification? How exactly, what was your study schedule and everything? What were the
Yeah.
resources that you used? Yeah.
So the study schedule was like actually what I have done is uh, first of all I had a book with me that that path I have sent you.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
first of all I've studied those things from that. And due to the pilot batch in college, we had a trainer with us who trained us in the very first batch. So uh, so he trained us, and the training was 14 and 15 days along. So and that training was entirely 40 to 60 hours of training in the solutions architect associate. I had not pursued cloud practitioner. I have only solutions architect associate. So
Okay.
that was from training part. And after that, when we started preparing for the solutions architect exam, we have we have solved the questions that are there in the AWS official study guide. And what we and from the market perspective and from the current perspective, we have read the documentations, FAQs, and other things. So
Yes.
white papers
White
gave
papers,
you
yes.
white papers give you great knowledge about the uh, how organizations are using the AWS and how they are using technologies. And
Mhm.
you will get a great scenarios on you will get a huge understanding about the scenarios if you read the white papers and FAQs. So that's how we are prepared. That's how we are prepared and give the exam.
So you said that your college had a batch of AWS Academy, it was the pilot batch. So how many people actually appeared for an exam and how many got certified in the first go itself?
Yeah, actually, the in the very first batch we had
Mm-hmm.
40 people are there, and around 37 are certified. Around 37 were certified.
That's great. So yeah, thank you for your inputs,
Yeah,
Prithvi. We would talk towards the end about your usage as well. Yeah. Hi,
fine.
Lakshman. Hi. Um,
Yeah, yeah, I know.
So Lakshman is a fellow community builder. The first public program that started in fall 2020, and he has been a usual speaker for AWS Ranchi. We have done a couple of events with him. He's a great guy, and he recently got certified for Cloud Associate, I guess. Yeah. So what was your take on the certification? Like, what did you feel about the exam, and how did you prepare as such?
Yeah, like there was a lot of inputs that I have to take to me inside my mind. That first of all, why there was only one question to me: why should I take the certifications? For the certifications, there's a lot of questions juggling inside me. Then I just don't know. I was completely perplexed to where to start exactly. So then I was checking some blogs and some YouTube videos, and I was asking some guidance to other people, like what is the correct way. There are many other paths and many other certifications out there in the market. Why to only choose AWS certifications? So to answer that questions to step by step, because cloud is the buzzword today completely, and AWS is showing its predominance, like most 50% of the industry in regarding the cloud computing. AWS is showing its class, means it was at the top priority. Many of the companies are really moving towards cloud, right? So in these days, clouds has been become a booming technology, and due to because of its completely scalability, availability, and highly secure, and it's going to as pay as you go pricing. So that's why, because AWS is going to be a market leader these days. So I chose that. Taking the certification in AWS, that would be a great opportunity to build my career and also to get a high pay scale jobs. But that's what I use it to think at the initial stages. But when I started to get prepared to the examination, that syllabus is really vast. You have to do a lot of groundwork before going into the certification. There are a lot of common questions that arises when I was practicing with few of my friends. A lot of common questions like, do I need to have any programming knowledge to take this certification, or do I need to have prior cloud knowledge, or how many of years of experience? Because these are all some professional level of certifications that was only taken by not only the students, but only professional people are able to take those and use it. user period. So like what amount of networking knowledge that I need to have before taking to the certifications? How long do I need to prepare for the certification? A lot of questions are coming to happen. Then I came to understand that it's really good to start with questions and then answering questions step by step. So to answer the question, I think there is no need to require of any of the programming knowledge taking to the certification exam. I do think that you need some cloud knowledge for all the beginners who are thinking to take out the exam. There is a much added credibility if you have a cloud knowledge, or else you can learn through the official guides that you have from the certification exam. And also, if you have some networking knowledge, that would be great, because there are the concepts of VPC, virtual private cloud, which completely deals with the networking concepts of subnets, gateways, and peering and all the things. So that a huge networking knowledge, that would be great actually. So coming to the preparation stuff, I was got recently certified as an AWS or the Amazon Web Services solution architect associate level. So why did I choose this certification? Because as Suman said that there are cloud practitioner level, which is the first step that many of the people just skip them. But when coming to the solution architect, that gives you a really high level understanding that to important the features of complete AWS, right? It helps you to prepare in an architect perspective. So when you're going to prepare for the exam, it is like how an architect is exposed or expected to suggest a solution to a problem. So that's what that complete answer that you'll get from this certified, when you got certified or when you got preparing into this AWS exam. There are a lot of services inside this AWS, and you'll really find a lot of fun. So there are something like the preparation strategy that I followed is that I usually not only use it to watch some videos or prepare. Parallelly, I use it to do a lot of labs. At times of labs with in the first, I have to use it to prepare in iterations. So in the first step, I use it to watch the official guides and I have to keep aside the study guides to the labs, and then I use it to prepare from there. And after that, I use it to keep hide my guides and do the labs without any guides, so that doing the labs will give you a lot of practical knowledge, and also it will tell you what all the requisites that are needed to get into the exam. So at the same time, taking those mock tests or practice exams, that would assess you where level you are going to stand in the exam. Because when you're going to write the exam, there was completely shootout, because you'll not find any direct answers when you go into the exam. There are multiple scenario based questions, so that you need to prepare in such a way so that you need to answer some scenarios. The questions are like multiple choice and multi answer questions. So the level of practice should be at a niche level. So you need to prepare in a good way, then you'll definitely go into good there. So my suggestion to go step by step. First of all, if you are planning to write an exam, you must go through the blueprints available there in the AWS official docs. So when you're going to the blueprint, it was completely given. So while I was preparing for my solution architect, the blueprint was completely clear, because it is going to show us how to in the solution architect for the level of exam, the blueprint follows some percentage of levels of question that are going to ask, maybe some deployment level, data security, troubleshooting or fault tolerance, in such a way so that you come to know from where the questions are targeted a lot. And then you need to write a lot of notes. It really helps you if you write a lot of notes, and at the time of revision, because I insist you all to prepare in iterations, so that when you write notes, that would help a lot, a lot, a lot. And as Prithviraj said, the product FAQs frequently ask questions of each and every service of the product. Like when you go to the console, just type it out AWS S3 FAQs. Then you will find a lot of questions completely scenario based, and that really helps in 80% of the task. I just use it to read FAQs a lot, and also uh, and also I use it to revise a lot and practice questions. And I was also like perplexed a lot to know what are the third-party materials that I need. Shall I have to read any book, or shall I have to purchase any materials out there, or have to see any videos of like. It will definitely help a lot if you take any of the resources that were available outside, and they are freely available for YouTube. So I insist, don't waste any of your money for them, because so try to communicate with many of the people. So that would be this would be a good steps to you to perform for the exam. That's it, Father.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lakshman. That was very, very insightful. Vishal, if you would like to ask something. Vishal, you're muted. I'm sorry. Yeah. We can't hear you, by the way. If you can fix
Okay,
your. Yeah,
am I?
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, yeah.
Okay, sorry,
Now
sorry,
it's
sorry. Okay, good morning, everyone. Just a few questions. Like, I'm an also aspirant of AWS certifications, maybe by the end of the year or maybe the second half. So, my first question from Suman would be like, from where or third-party websites or from where you can prepare, like in JE or something like that, you get like mock tests, right? So, my first question to Suman is, from where do you get the actual feel of the exam apart from the exam itself? So,
Sure. Yeah, that's a good question. As Lakshman said, right? So we have lots of resources available online. So there are a few very good YouTube channels available. Maybe I can share them, and we can have this in the comment section or in the description. But apart from that, free YouTube resources. What is important for at least especially at AWS is the consistency and perseverance, because there are so much of distractions around, right? You get started with something, and then in the middle of it, someone tells you to do learn something else, and you just go there. And AWS is very, very overwhelming in that sense. So to have one curriculum is very, very important, and you need to be very consistent. Like, let's say you target for a certification for 3 months, just lock your door and come out of that door once you will complete your examination. So from training perspective, there are few trainings, very good trainers available, right? So there is a guy called Adrian. Adrian, I think, Cantrail or something. So you can search Adrian.
Adrian Horsby. Yeah,
So I'll just
yeah.
share the link. Okay, so let me just share it right now. Okay, so this is the guy. Okay, so his training was very, very insightful. So he goes to a very deep to any service, and it's beyond the certification actually, right? So you don't need that much of understanding, but he is great when teaching something, right? So that would be one of the external resource or external person that you can connect with. Even he has a Slack channel which is which has more than 10,000 students. So you can just join that Slack channel and learn from others. And I'm from an old school, so one of the problem that I faced is not problem, but I would say that it's little annoying is when you go to documentation, you keep on clicking on one of the link, and then you end up somewhere and you have no clue from where you started. So I always prefer to have a hard copy or book. So there is a wonderful book, I guess it was for AWS Certified Developer Associate. It's a study guide. Okay, so I think it was by Nick. I think it was by Sybase publication. That book was amazing, and it's a very recent book. It's I think 2019 or 2020, because in AWS most of the things keeps on changing, right? By the time you get and learn something, but just we need to understand that this associate level exams, few of the core services never changes, right? I mean, the core concept, maybe UI will change, we will add new features, but the concept will never change. And that's what Lakshman was also mentioning for, right? That you need to understand the core concepts. So I guess you can pick some book if you are book friendly, if you want to have some book, and you can have some training. There are few good trainers in Udemy as well. It's little cheap, I think 400 rupees or something. If you are in college, don't spend money on that blindly. Just go over the YouTube or other resources that are freely available. But beyond that, if you still want to explore, and you can skip one weekend party outside and use that money in one Udemy course, go ahead with that. So it would always help you. So these are the things that you can go over. And there is for practice, I guess someone mentioned about practice. There are various places you can get practice or stimulator or stimulation exams and all of that. But the best that I found was by tutorial dojo, I guess. right? So I can share that link as well. So his contents are very, very good. So it's not only about certification, but it's about the real world scenarios, because these questions are way tougher than the actual exam. So this will prepare you even better, if you are looking for if anyone is looking for job or career change or something like that. This will lead you to the next level. So I would recommend these few resources.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
thank you so much.
On considering the college part, like if you're a college student, don't spend. So that was my favorite part. Also,
Yeah.
apart from this, the services, as you mentioned, like if you initially in the discussion you mentioned if you go into database and then you carry on. So what kind, like what you faced, what are the distribution in a test, like for a developer associate and for the architect level, what are the major weightage of each sections from your perspective?
Right. So, different exams have different criterias, but in general, for all the associate level exams, the questions are based on scenarios, but they are mostly service oriented. Okay, so most of the time, you will never be stuck with a question where you have a dilemma between two services. Most of the questions are very straightforward, although it's very tricky. You have no clue that you may get clueless that okay, which should be the right answer. But it's mostly around very specific questions. Those are not very long. Okay, like in professional or specialist exam, the questions are very, very long, and people actually, including myself, I just wrote the machine learning exam 2 months back. So I was just lost when I was reading, halfway. So you need to have, and these mock tests will help you to get that consistency and the tolerance to read, because we at least I can tell about myself. I'm very impatient, so I just want to get rid of this question and go to the next one, right? So that doesn't work for specialist or machine learning or any professional exam. Now, for questions, these associate level questions are, professional level questions will touch upon various services in single question. Okay, so there will be things like, let's say, these, Lambda function, or it's talking to, let's say, the queuing service, and then you have an API call coming from the API gateway, things like that. So you need to understand how these bits and pieces works together, and to get a good hold of this, you need to read the white papers, as Prithvi and Lakshman mentioned. So white paper are very, very important, so you can have a look into that. But from a very higher level perspective, I would recommend that once you clear that associate level exam, especially the solution architect associate level exam, you can go with the other associate level exam. Like I would strongly recommend the developer associate if you are into if you're planning to pursue your career in development, or anything around maybe even for DevOps, because developer associate exam covers a lot of things like SDKs. Although you don't need any software development experience, or you do not have to know how to code, but it's a falsy statement, right? That you are getting certified for a developer associate and you don't know coding. So although exam doesn't test your coding skills, but one need to know that, right? Otherwise, what's the point? Then you can skip that and take the other exam, right? So I think developer associate exam will get you exposed to all those SDKs, CLIs, and other APIs that we have. And then you can put get into your specialization. So specialist exams are very different. Specialist exam will just focus on the plethora of services that you have in that segment, right? For database, it will just focus on databases, right? For machine learning, it will focus on machine learning. But the expectation would be the core services, because in AWS, no service works independently, right? Every bit, it's just like a Lego block, right? Each service doesn't have any value at its own, right? Once you combine each of them, then you get a value out of it. So that's why associate exam is very important, because that will give you an understanding of all the core services that you would need to leverage that learning in your specialist exams.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Thank you for
And
that, Suman. Thanks.
So since I was preparing, like I have my cloud practitioner exam scheduled later this month, and since I was preparing for the exam, the resources that came handy to me the most was this one videos by Andrew Brown. It's available on Free Code Camp's YouTube channel. It's a free 8 hour long video for the cloud practitioner exam, and then there are different levels of exams. I don't think he has any videos on specialist exams as of yet, but like that was really helpful. Also, someone talked about the Cybex books. So Cybex books are available on Amazon. You can simply buy them, or you can get a PDF online. Cybex books are really helpful because you get exam like exactly the questions that you would get in the exam. You get in that way. Apart from this, I also was preparing using a Cloud Guru, no, a Cloud Guru, I must say. So a Cloud Guru is a paid service, to be honest, and it is really expensive. If we are being honest, like until you are not very serious about like pursuing 4 or 5 certifications within a year, you should probably not opt for a Cloud Guru. A Cloud Guru is also like it's a great way to learn something when it comes to cloud services, be it AWS or the other cloud services, be it GCP or Azure. It's a bit of an overkill. So if a Cloud Guru is at a level 10 of preparation, if it prepares you for a level 10 exam, the actual exam is a level 6 or 5, that I'd say. It's not the best. It is definitely the best, but it's not, you should not be very rigorous when you prepare for a Cloud Guru. Like I've had friends who scored like 45-50% in an A Cloud Guru practice exam and actually scored 90% in the actual AWS exam. So these are the free and paid this resources that I recommend to everyone. Talking about the topic, yeah, someone, you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, this just reminds me of something. So there is a blog post by Jayendra Patil. Okay, so he is very prominent. I guess we'll have him in one of the meetups as well. So keep this in handy if you are preparing, because he has blog for all the certifications that he wrote, and I guess he covered all the certifications. But his notes are very useful. Okay, so Lakshman mentioned that you need to write notes, and it's very important to write notes. But you can complement this with his blogs, because his blog has lots of notes for each and every certification. And one last thing that before I forget is what I really experienced is, when you are preparing for any certification, don't just watch videos, or don't just binge watch videos on the very last day, because when you watch a video, you would learn everything. I can assure you, you pick any topic, not only AWS but any topic. When you're watching something, you will understand, right? But you will quickly forget the very next day, right? So the best way to learn is, not only for certification but also to acquire any new skill set, is to just pause and learn. So you watch some video, read some book, and then just practice that. And before you go to the next topic, just keep practicing and go beyond that. You complete, let's say, S3 in any material. It will not be covered everything about S3, but whatever it's covered, just explore that and just do some more research about S3 outside. And once you are little bit confident, because learning is never an lifetime process, so you just don't want to hang around one particular topic, but just when you get comfortable to a certain extent, then just go to the next topic. So that will boost your performance, or boost your confidence. And that is very important when you attend any interviews, because in interviews, certification will help you to fetch an interview call, but after that, to do your day-to-day work, you need your skill sets, right? And that skill set will skill set will you can add your skill sets only when you experience things. And I think by doing hands-on practice, that would help. And other thing that people do complain, and it's a very legit thing, is in AWS you need to have a credit card to create an account, right? So that's a very problematic thing, especially if you are a student, right? So we do have an educate program where you can get a free login. But if your college, because a lot of college do that, I've seen this, if your college can afford an account for Linux Academy, I would never recommend this for any student, because that costs a lot. But if they can, if the college can afford, then what the best part about Linux Academy or many other platforms is this, that you get a sandbox environment. So you don't have to pay for any of the practice thing, and you don't need to create an account as well. So you watch some video, go over that video, and you can just use their sandbox. So sandbox is kind of an the environment that they have in their platform itself. All right, so you can just log in and practice there. So you can look into that if your college supports that.
Yeah, true. Also, I would like to discuss a couple of things when it comes to the pricing and everything about the exam. So the cloud practitioner exam is cost it costs 60 USD, I guess. Yeah, it costs 60 USD, and the other exams cost 100 USD. So this is one, like if your college has an AWS Academy or a tie-up with the AWS Academy program, you can get discounts up to 60 or 80%. I'm not really sure, but colleges provide that discount for you. So AWS Academy covers that part for you. The other program that I would recommend, something that started very recently, this just started last year. It's the AWS Community Builder program, and the Builder program is an excellent program where you meet evangelists from AWS from all across the world. And so the first batch there was a beta batch back in spring 2020, and then there was a public fall batch in fall 2020. So the community builder program gives you a lot of benefits, and one of the benefits, except like everything else, except the swags that you get, they're exclusive to the community builder program and the cloud credits and everything. What we get is every year we get a certification voucher. So 100% of the cost of a certification would be covered, and that is how, like, I scheduled my exam. That is how I got my exam scheduled, and that is how Lakshman also got his exam scheduled. So if you're new to AWS, or if you're starting, AWS Community Builder program is not something that only people who are very experienced with the platform should opt for. Anyone who wants to learn, anyone who wants to collaborate contribute to the community, and in turn help their own growth, it is a great program, to be honest. And applications would be opening this March, I guess. So we would be sharing the links as well, or you can simply Google AWS Community Builder program, and you would find it there. We get
Yeah.
certification.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And
Yes.
apart from that, it also provides a cloud academy. Like right now, it is just a recent announcement that came. It provides cloud academy. Access to cloud academy. So these are things. If you contribute to the community, if you share with the community, you get back from the community. There is also the user group program, which provides, like, user group program for which I am a part. Someone is a part. Prithvi is a part, and we get Linux Academy or a Cloud Guru. They're the same platform actually. So you get 300 days subscription for Linux Academy, and that is a great resource too. Plus you get certification vouchers. So anyone who is starting, look out for developer groups in your vicinity. Look out for every people in your vicinity who are actually working, who are actually part of the community builders program or the user group program, and connect with them. Ask for their help. Most of the people that I've met, in fact all of the people that I've met, are really really helpful, and we kind of always collaborate. So this was one. Before we conclude, actually, I guess we covered almost everything. Oh, one more thing, yeah. So Lakshman, since you took the exam very recently, what are the formats of taking the exam? Like, how can you take an exam? Are there test centers, or can you have it? Can you take it on your own? So shed some light on this.
Yeah, that's really important to read the guidelines before on the exam day, because everything you need to follow the instructions there. So to not mess up with there. That's what how I messed up with, and then with Fahad I was able to figure it out that. We are going to take through Pearson, View Pearson. There are those. If there are two centers available, online and offline, so I opt for online. You can take home. You can take the exam at home in center. At home, so that the people are really so friendly. They'll get a call for you, and they'll ask everything. The instructions are pretty clear. You need to have your device with the good broadband internet, so that you shouldn't restrict yourself from any of the deviations out there. And you need to keep your room clear with no one inside. They'll ask you to show your room all around the side. Those all things are you can able to figure it out, but on the exam instructions, be cool. Try to write a mock test before the day of the exam, and then mostly you'll able to figure it out a lot. So I recommend to take some of the jump also of a tutorials dozo. Those are the practice exams that you can find out in Udemy. And one more thing, as Path said about the AWS Community Builders program. So my experience, I would like to tell a bit, because before you're going to apply for that Community Builders program, it was just a simple form that way they were going to filter you to get inside the Community Builder program or not. That how I got accepted to the program is that I have to really thank to AWS to Ranchi, because they will just ask you what all the contributions that you have been given to the community. Those are all the things that's going to keep you that side of the line. So because so I recommend any of all the viewers and enthusiasts and aspirants to just start building and networking with the community. See how Parth and Vishal and Prithviraj, how they are growing with the networking and building their communities as well, and spreading their wings to the people also. So that would be helpful. That's it, man.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, man. We have two announcements before we conclude finally. So the first one is we have two user groups coming up in India. One is in Indore, and Prithviraj is the lead for that. We would be starting that in the coming week, probably the next weekend. And then the following weekend, there is another user group coming up in Dehradun. Saurav is a dear friend of me and Prithviraj and probably everyone in the community. They're really great guys. So we would be sharing links in due time for their meetups as well. And I mean, we wish all the best to everyone who is about to start their program. Apart from that, there's also one thing that we would like to discuss. We actually are. I mean, I was planning to start a podcast on AWS to discuss AWS as a whole, as everything from announcements and everything that comes up in AWS, creating projects in the way. So that is also something that we are still planning. The whole community is planning all across the world. It's not an India specific. So we're still planning it. As soon as that is done, we would be sharing links for that as well. And also, like, for everyone who attended reInvent last year's reInvent was free and it was online. So for everyone who attended reInvent, like, kudos to you. It was a huge event. It was a tiring event. It went for 17 days or something. And I attended a couple of events, more than a couple of events, to be honest. It was really fun because for one, you didn't have to travel. We have reInvent this year. If your company supports you, or if you can afford to, please visit Las Vegas. It's a great fun 4-day event, and you get a bag full of swags and goods. So that is one. This year's reInvent, this is the hoodie that I received, and I'm kind of flexing this everywhere. So yeah, this is about reInvent. We are planning to do a reInvent recap, an all India reInvent recap. There would be one event, so that would be huge. We had a Amazon AI Conclave last month, and there are a couple of amazing events coming up. Everyone is planning, but now when the when places are opening up, in-person meetings are allowed. We would have amazing events all across the country. So yeah, we're looking forward to all that. We're looking forward to collaborating with each other, cities, communities, countries, even, and having people support us and grow in the process. So yeah, any final words? If no, Vishal can conclude.
No, actually, it's a heartfelt welcome to all Suban, Prithviraj, and Lakshman for like a great insight into going into the certification thing. And yeah, definitely it helps in the industry a lot. And being a student, and if you pursue the certificate, it's definitely the best thing you can do in your college life. So thanks for the insights, and we'll hope to see you in the next meetups, maybe very soon, maybe next month or so. So yeah, thanks from my side. And
Thanks. This is Parth and Vishal from AWS Ranchi signing off. Have a good day. Bye.
Thanks.
bye.
Yeah, thank
Bye.
you. Thank you, people. Bye. Have a nice day.
Bye.